Hey guys, Catanians here. I'm just going to do a bit of an explanation of the Catan World Explorers extended gameplay. So as you can see here, standard loading screen, currently version 1.0.1, and first load there is a download of about 76 megabytes, nothing too interesting. Once that's all done, you can load into the game. So here we have your game piece and standard Niantic warnings, and in front of you can see the personal settlement. So looking at your game piece, so they can come in both male and female, and you can change things like face style, hair color, and eye color, and it looks like there will be different clothing coming along. So it's just flicking through the different options at the moment. And here you have the male options. Alright, so after we've looked at the main piece, we'll have a look at the friend system. So going in, friends down the bottom left. So this will load in the server. So you've got your friends requests, both incoming and ones that you've sent, and then your friends underneath. You can go in, see what their game piece looks like and which faction they're part of. You're also able to remove friends, and up in the top left there's an online offline option which does show when you're online, and you can see which friends are online. Standard friends functionality, so adding via a player code allows you to copy it, share it, or if it gets out there you can refresh it so that you need to get a new one. So next we'll be looking at the badges. So these are achievements which, according to help, are related to previous and current seasons. There's currently 3 levels of badges in terms of visually, but there is more than 3 levels in terms of what you can achieve. These are kind of denoted by the larger outside squares. So you have a small dot for first achievement. There's no dots if there's not achieved. The larger square with the hole in the middle, and then you have the larger square with the extra crossing outside it for the top level badge. So I'll just flick through all of these at the moment. Interestingly, the marathoner currently does count when you're in a car, not just walking. But I'm expecting that to change once it's been fixed. So here down the bottom you can see the unachieved achievements which don't have any of the outside markings. Currently the achiever is not activated. And we've found these rewards tend to reward you with personal settlement cards or development cards. Things like the Solo Champ and the Treasure Hunter are also not currently available yet. So it's still things that are coming, hopefully. So this is the chat system. So currently, fairly standard chat. You can see the closest chats which are related to the scoring regions around you. So far it seems to be your current one you're in and one or two close regions. From here, obviously slightly bugged with the mass messages, but you can't delete messages, but you can favorite chats. So as you can see, the top one is what I'm currently in, the two that I'm nearby, and minor sync issues. And you can bookmark them down the bottom. So I currently had two bookmarked. So you go in, hit the heart button, that will bookmark it, or remove it from your bookmarks. You're also able to block players. So if you don't want to see something, it's very similar to, say, how Ingress's chat worked. So you can highlight the player and then block them. As you can see, the chat from that player has disappeared, and you can also then unblock them. Alright, so after the chat, we've got our settings menu. So you still have the ability to change your nickname if needed. Standard sound, volume settings, vibration, and the push notifications for events and offers. You also have the community. So this is the community forums, which currently is about feedback on the game, reporting bugs, strategy. You can also go in and find a community map, so find communities close by you get into, talk about, playing with your teams. And then you have a help section, which is quite informative and has things in there that aren't quite ready in the game yet. So things like your settlement levels and the treasure chest, treasure map and stuff. In the top right, you have 4 card settings. So these are boosts that you can have on your player. Things like auto harvest, double XP, greater range, and they're all able to be purchased via the shop. So roughly about 250 coins per card. So going into the shop, you can upgrade your dev card limit and resource limit. They're both capped at 150, and obviously dev card gives you +5, resource +10. Your personal cards are mainly those boosts, and also the ability to move your personal settlement. So going down, there's also other boosts, so there's Plentiful Harvest. This is for when you're playing mini games or at a resource. You have your Speedy Cultivate, so that'll lower the cooldown on your resource points of interest. And then Quick Harvest, which knocks out an hour off settlement dice rolls. Now, these don't stack, so it's a 1 or nothing, and they last about half an hour. And then you've got the standard gold prices. So this is looking externally at a settlement. Again, this is that option up the top where you can use that quick that boost to knock down the dice roll time. So personal settlement, so you can grow your tiles. Now, as you grow, the price goes up on the tile. That one is 343, the next one is 512. And your personal settlement buildings, it costs $50 to place it, then $250 to upgrade it once, and then $1,000 to upgrade it after that. So these personal buildings have a range of different advantages to them. Some of them are based on when you do your personal settlement dice roll. If you roll the adjacent number, you'll get those particular options. There are others like this one here, where after a certain amount of time, you get a bonus. The bonus can be resources, research points, and that last one was a epic minigame card, and also experience. With the personal settlement cards, you can remove the buildings after you've built them, but they'll recost like the 50 to place again at level 1. So it would be ideal to kind of plan out what you get before you place all of them, but saying that the number you get on each tile as you grow is random. So in this scenario, I've got 3 number 8 and no number 9. So this was the removing the buildings, but again, it will cost you the gold to replace it. So this is the scoring. This is the daily quest feedback. So it goes over, okay, this is the score that you did from yesterday, locally, globally. As you can see, Red was taking quite a lead. It also gives you a recap of what you've done. Sometimes this does come up blank, and that's a known issue that they're still looking to work on. And you get your rewards. After that, you're given the option of 3 quests. Your free rewards, which is just resources, easy, which is reasonably easy, and then your hard ones, which can be quite difficult depending on the resource in your scoring cell. After midnight each night, you have this daily dice roll. So days 1 through 6, you have a 2 times multiplier you can try and aim for. Each side of that dice is worth 100 resource, which is roughly 1 resource card. Once you hit the 7 days, you get a 3 times multiplier, and you also get what they call the golden dice, which that will also give you the ability to roll for coins. It's either 3 or 7. So this is your satchel. So these are your limits. So your resources, obviously you have your 5 resources, and then you have your dev cards. Now dev cards are counted up by minigames and by your building cards and boost cards. So for the dev cards, there's so far 3 levels. You have your common cards, which are available to be built at settlement tier 1s, and generally cost 1 to 2 resource to build. Now, each of these development cards have different advantages. Some of them are purely victory points for settlements. Some fix the trade rates of settlements for their specific resource. Others will give you research points. The settlement upgrade is required if you want to build uncommon or rare cards. And also each card has a different max level it can be built to. Currently markets, you can only, excluding wool, only upgrade them once. Wool, for some reason, you can upgrade twice, but that's potentially another bug. And others give research points if you roll the adjacent numbers, similar to the personal settlement cards. So far, max victory points on common is 2, 4 for uncommon, and there's an 8 for rare. You're also able to salvage these dev cards to make space, but you cannot salvage resource cards. And these are the boost cards that you could buy from the shop, but have also been given as rewards. If you become a mayor, you get the dice cooldown reward. So this is your other menus. So currently quests are not working. You can only really get the quest from Gilda, which is your daily one. And you also have the Catanians, which as you meet, you can trade with and get quests. The quest is still currently bugged, so you cannot accept them. You use both the quests and trading to build friendships with them. As you go up, you get new trading, boost cards, being able to negotiate trades, and then another quest. These also come in common, uncommon, rare, epic, and legendary. So after that you have your inbox. So this is where you get any of your achievements. So leveling up is generally 500 RP in a dev card. You can delete those, no problems. It'll also be where you find out about your mayors and other information in game. So in the distance there is a settlement. And this one here is your resource center, the two different types in game. Settlements where you build buildings, resource center is where you collect buildings. Only once you've gone to one of the resource centers do you know what it is, and they reset at the end of every season. So in front of us is the park tiles. So they're used to walk over to gain resources. They also give you 5 experience. So this is when we talk to one of the Catanians. So this is the trade options that they have and be able to collect the quests. So depending on the Catanian you get, they generally specialize in a resource and will have a quest for that resource, or finding a resource POI and will trade in that particular resource. And yeah, as you can see, that's still currently bugged. And that Catanian has been added to my list. In theory, it should be able to show you how far away they are. So that's a shrub that popped up. They sometimes will give you dev cards. They'll also sometimes give you RP, and sometimes they'll just give you a bird that does nothing. This is a settlement dice throw. So if you haven't met your max gold for the day, which is about 50 gold, you'll get that gold coin. If you land your dice on it, you get your 5 coin from that dice roll. In this scenario, I've rolled the robber. What that does is that will go and get 100 resource off the 3 inner tiles from each of the other factions, and also any buildings they've built on the corner of those, plus 5 from all of the resources. So in here you can see I've gone and I've built out a few of the tiles. So as you go through, you can upgrade the settlement. So that's currently tiers 1, 2, and 3. In the help, it does suggest 2 more tiers, but that currently isn't unlocked. Your monument is your main card, and you can craft those cards at the settlements, and then upgrade the building. So far I've heard of that being at least level 18 and still not being fully upgraded. So unsure what the top level of that is yet. But every time you upgrade, it will give you 1 extra victory point, and in this case plus 5 resource. So this is jumping to a different area, and this is one of our large parks in town. So as you can see, there's a lot of the park tiles, and this is also discovering one of the resource points of interest. So when you find a undiscovered point of interest, when you discover it, it'll give you a building dev card, as well as once you swipe it, you have the chance of getting a mini game card out of the resource center. So this is the same when you discover a settlement. It will give you one of the dev generally building cards, and they seem to be higher rarity, so uncommon or rare if you've unlocked those. The other thing you'll notice here is you have your interaction circle, but your park tile pickup is a lot smaller than that. You'll also gain resources discovering a settlement. So here, standard build, so I'll pick I can't pick that card because I don't have any and don't have the resources. What I can do is I can go in and trade. So this is the worst trade value you can get at 6 to 1. But this gets improved by building the resource specific market, so ore, brick, grain, wool, or lumber. Or once you've unlocked it in an uncommon card, there's a farmer's market, which impacts the cost of all resources. So here I've crafted that 1 card, so I can go back and I can then play that 1 card. So this is building the fairgrounds on one of the available slots. So as you grow it, each tile will give you the ability to add buildings. It's in the same as the board game where you must have 2 spaces between each building. So this is upgrading. So as you notice, once you upgrade, it'll give you a new line of hectares around the outside, and it also allows you to build the next tier of buildings. So once you run out of space, you can grow it. The inner circle, it takes 2 resources to build it. The next tier takes 4 resources, and then so far the outer tier takes 8. once that's grown, this has given me 2 more places to build something. And with this dice roll, you can either throw the dice individually, and once you've selected it, you can circle on the screen to change the dice before flicking it, or you can flick it with both fingers to get both dice at once. So here, rolled an 8, so I get the resources from 8, and you always get the resources from the 2 stars. So that comes into your strategy about what buildings you put on the 2-star plot, as you'll always get them every dice roll. So as you can see, currently that dice roll its cooldown was 6 hours. In the help, it does mention that it's supposed to be 8 hours. There's the building card I got from discovering that resource center, and that's my minigame card. So this is the dice minigame. So you can, as you flick them, the idea is to land them on certain tiles and miss the water. So you have the option of gold and research points, and you can land them between the tiles and get 2 values for each one. So as you can see, that third one hit 3 tiles. And as you saw in that particular scenario, I hit level 5. So in the inbox, I'll have a congratulations on level 5. So this is looking at the scoring cell. Now the scoring cells don't seem to follow a set pattern in terms of shape and size. So potentially it may have something to do with population under the particular S2 cells that they're looking at. Now in this particular scenario, my current satchel is full. So as you can see, they've got the big warning down the side, and I would have had a resource card, but because my limit is full, I have to salvage it. So as you can see, I'm 76 out of 76. A lot of those are the minigames, and as you see going through, you can salvage these, and they have different values for their rarity. So epic is 100, rare 75, uncommon 50, and common 25. You're also able to salvage multiple ones at once, which obviously stacks how much the amount is. So in this case, 650 gone. So that all just counts to your resource points. So in this scenario, I'm going to go and get my 2000, which should be enough for me to unlock my next card. So here I'm going to unlock the ore market. So that'll give me 1 better trade rate when I build that one. After you've unlocked a card, you then get to pick a new one. So in this case, it's the Treasury, which is quite a good card because it will give you 1 gold if you roll the adjacent number. That's it for the first gameplay. Thanks everyone for watching. Any questions, leave them in the comments, and hopefully I'll get around to making another one to answer those for you.